if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, and welcome back into Pregaming here at Sports Money. Monday to Friday, you know the deal. We don't stop, we just keep rolling every day. Got to get out there and attack these bookies, put them on notice. And this is what's been going on for me the last couple of days with my lovely internet connection. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we can fix this. Sort of. Now we're going to make the most of it. Hopefully the internet's not too glitchy. It sounds like a hard reset is in store for tonight. It's a short card, so that makes it just fine. Hope everyone had themselves a great weekend. We're ready to attack. We're getting down to it. It's that time of the year. Conference tournaments will pop off. I have a couple thoughts on some conference tournament plays here tonight. Futures. Don't mind these futures. Now listen. We're in the trust tree here, right? We're in the trust tree. I got a financial background. Do yourselves a favor. Take whatever the interest rate is, whatever you want to use. You want to use 0.6, you want to use 1.2, whatever interest rate you can use. Whatever, doesn't matter. Let's stretch out for, say, the baseball season. Starts now. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 8 months. Take whatever money you're going to invest in baseball futures. Assume you're catching, if you're looking at team totals, let's assume you're catching minus 1/10. Now apply the 8-month interest rate to that. Use 1%. Doesn't matter. It is not a winning formula. It's important. It's important because some people don't understand this. They want to have action for the sake of having action. I get it. I can appreciate that. We got plenty of baseball coming up. But believe you me, you're not making money. That being said, college basketball, conference tournaments, with a week and a half to roll, sure, you can make plenty of good money, especially with some of these big plus 650 price tags that I've looked at and identified for how long. That's what it comes down to. And so just keep that in mind. I know it's fun and it's cute, and everybody likes to go out there and roll off 10 of their team total baseball future bets, but look, it's not profitable long term. You want to be sweating on the White Sox not to need that 28th win in September? Or you're going to owe your bookie a couple $100? It's not where you want to be. Trust me, it's not where you want to be. Take that money, utilize it day in and day out. You'll grow that money so much faster, so much more responsibly. It's not responsible to park in a CD if you want. You can do CDs for 6 months. You can gather 3 times the interest rate you'll make. Trust me, look it up. That's my standard disclosure on, I see a lot of people now, because baseball's around the corner. Everyone's a baseball bettor. I'm going to show this team total. I got this team, this win total. These guys are going to win. All right, stupid. Put it in park. Put that money somewhere else and do us all a favor. Don't clutter my Twitter timeline with that nonsense. How's that be? How's that be for a Monday? Now we do have some great plus money spots that we can attack tonight. Guaranteed. We have one of these. You'll make more money than you will on a future bet. And I know some of you guys like them, so it's just it's a fact. I mean, it's a fact. I don't see the edge in tying your money up for 8 months to try to chase down the Toronto Blue Jays winning more than 47 and a half games. I don't know. I don't even know what the numbers are. It's that irrelevant to me. Now, some batting props. Okay. Number 1 RBI in baseball. I mean, okay, maybe. But there's so much that can happen. What you want to do is you want to take the variance out of the equation. And variance comes into play because you don't know who's going to get injured. You don't know what happens 3 months down the road. You don't know who catches a gambling suspension or been on steroids. All those factors are variance that can negatively impact what it comes down to is your financial algorithm. So that being said, it's time to get to work. You guys know what's up. We've got a hockey slate. We got a college basketball slate. We got an NBA slate. We got a parlay. This parlay will pay out more than any future bet you can make in season win totals in baseball, unless you're extending the run line. And then you're even crazier than I thought. But that's okay, because we're not judging anybody unless you're making team total win baseball season bets. Now, I did announce on Saturday's live stream, the Ribeye will officially have a home right here at Sports Money. If you invent the Ribeye, the least you can do is put it on your channel. And that is a fact. It's not just bragging. And everybody was betting home runs. They were coming out. They were saying, we're going to get this plus 750. And then here's 6 guys in the game. Like there's going to be that many home runs. Losing money. But why not catch plus 150s, plus 175s, plus 200s, especially when they're moving around the order with hot batters in front of them. Now we're making money. And we've done it the last 2.5 seasons. We'll get that started probably middle of April. We'll start looking around there. I try not to get going until like May 1st, but look, I'm itchy. I get itchy like everybody else. I'm ready to roll. I hope you guys can do me the solid here. Roll with me on that thumbs up button. That's how we need the support here. We are viewer supported. You got to let YouTube know we're here. We need to get these views up. We need to get these likes up. You guys did a terrific job on Saturday. Man, we had over 3,000 views. We had just 5 shy of 100. How about that, huh? 3,000, 3,300 views we're getting on these UFC Saturday shows. And it was a big winning Saturday show. MMA Jeff clobbered it. A little salty about the main event. Yeah, I mean, I lost it. You know, I was on Pereira, but I don't know. Pushing the guy up against the cage and just riding him out for 5 rounds is going to be a bad message. This is the future of where the NBA is at right now. 3-4 years ago when I talked about injury manipulation and lineup manipulation and the NHL's product's going to go to shit. We had 10 fights in a pay-per-view card. Albeit though, man, that Ruffy knockout against King Green was probably one of the best I've ever seen, that wheel kick. Look for that to be in some future videos. And we kind of middled yesterday. Caught some nice Lipscomb action. Not so much in the NBA and, the NHL. So back to work we go. We've got 3 games in the NHL. We'll get into the Oilers and Buffalo. Nice plus money spot. We'll get into Detroit and Ottawa. Nice plus money spot. We'll get into Toronto and Utah with an option of how to make it a plus money spot. Then we'll pop on the high tops and we'll go into college hoops. We'll go into some of these conference tournaments. Who doesn't want a 19-0 trend? How about a 9-0 trend? We got those too. We got you covered in college hoops. Oakland and Robert Morris, College of Charleston and UNC Wilmington. San Francisco and the Zags are going to be the late nighter. Get yourselves a couple of cocktails and some energy drinks flying for that one. We'll roll into the NBA. We've got a parlay, a 2-leg parlay, 2-leg rebound parlay. I'm excited about it. Plays out plus 250. That will be better than any single. You play this tonight. Assuming we win. This will pay out way more than any baseball season win total bet you can get. It's foolishness. Fucking ridiculous. Anyhow, Orlando and Houston. Big spot for us out there in NBA. And then we'll close off with Denver and OKC in the spot. You guys know what the spot is all about. Did my head get bigger? Did the screen get smaller? Or did my beard get grayer? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But again, thumbs up time. We might as well give it another little run. You guys know the deal. It's that important for us. Time is getting of the essence here. March Madness is upon us. Then we'll get into playoffs in in the NBA and the NHL. And then we're just down to baseball and golf. So we need you guys' help now more than ever. Let's do it again. Let's run it again. I got salty. I got distracted and salty because I saw a bunch of people putting out these season win bets, and it's the worst part is you see some guys do like 5 in a division. It's like here's the AL East, and here's my 5. Well, what are you doing? What are you putting, a buck on them? 2? Do me a favor. Don't put it on my timeline. I should almost report those people as potentially harmful and detrimental to the community that's being built in Twitter. Just annoys me. It's one of those things that, look, everyone's got their pet peeves, and just losing propositions are pet peeves. Why are you going to tie that money up for that long for less than what you could make if you just put money in a bank account? I mean, you can have a checking account with the shittiest interest rate. You're still going to make more money. No, maybe not. Maybe not that. Maybe that's a little too far. Maybe we took it a little too far. But you could definitely put it in a CD and be more profitable. Believe you me. All right. Let's go. Pen and paper out, boys and girls. You know the deal. Time to talk about the best in the business and what they're on. You're going to want to write these plays down. There's going to be a lot of commonality here. I looked through some of these plays. I think we got a bunch of good winning angles to attack. And they're here for you guys. We've been marinating on this card all day. Like a barbecue chicken getting ready to be thrown on the grill. It's almost grilling season. 43 and sunny today. Got me feeling pretty good. Got some gas for the propane for the grill. I'm ready to grill out. Let's go. It's ribeye season. I got some ribeyes on deck. Anyhow, again, I got distracted. That's going to happen today. I'm fired up. Feeling good. Feeling good about this card. Looking forward to attacking. Make sure you put your best bets in the chat so we can go after them here. Let's talk about commenter numero uno. We were hanging out with this guy on Saturday. Got himself a racing stripe. He's ready for NASCAR season. It's Jover. Blackhawks and Avalanche. First period over 1.5 for Jover. So I like the over in that game a lot, Joe. I'm not going to step in front of that one, my friend. I think that's a nice looking prop. Both teams to score in the first period. Not a bad looking prop. I did hear today, and this is why I don't even look at these games. If it was a single game on a card, I would. These 400 favorites are bigger. Yeah. They're winning at 75%, I think. I think the 400 or largers are winning at 75%. If you bet every one of them on the season, just blindly bet them, these big favorites, these parlay pieces, you're only up 2 units. Do you believe that? I thought that was something. Kind of supports my don't waste your effort. But again, over is a great trend for those guys. I saw some big numbers today. I just couldn't believe that. You think it's such free money, and yet you're only up 2 units. And imagine how pissed you're going to be if you lose a minus 500. But the Blackhawks, disarray. The only wild card, for me in that game, and we'll talk about it here for a second because I don't have any skin in that game particularly. But what do we talk about? The new lease on life. Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight did shove, in baseball terms. He did shove the other night. He shoved it right up their ass. Got himself a nice big, I think he had, I can't remember the number. He's won 2. I know that. Since he's come on the Blackhawks, he's won 2. Here's a guy with a 2.36 ER, goals ER. Change gears. I spent some time researching baseball today. 2.36 goals against average. He's down to a 1.95. 91.3% save percentage. Does have a 95.1% save percentage in his last 2 games. The new lease on life going into Chicago, man. Guy's feeling pretty good. Sees maybe some clarity in his direction with this team as opposed to sitting on the bench or 2 or 3 guys down in Florida. But man, Colorado's whooping teams up. 28-11, they're outscoring opponents in their last 5 games. And Colorado is on the front end of the back-to-back, so going to be tough. Going to be tough. Wedgwood also phenomenal in his last game. 32 of 33 saves. It was against the Penguins. But still, get north of them 30 saves. Chicago, five straight games with points. 4-0-1. Oh, sorry, excuse me. A little excited. Got a little ahead of myself on that one. Jover's rocking us out with the Blackhawks in the Avalanche first period. I'd be inclined to take them. I'll tell you this. The over 6 made the sharp action report as well today. The most sharp action from respected bettors. I had to get the terminology down. I keep fumbling around with it. The most sharp action from respected bettors on the total is coming in on Chicago and Colorado. Let's go, Jover. Appreciate you sharing, Jover. Let's go. Let's go, Jover. And Joe Jones is in the house. 19-11, my man. Coming through here, giving us almost a 2-1. That's the numbers we want. 60% north, and you are a successful capper. You can make bank. Wolford, Furman, over 137.5 for Gerald Jones. Thank you for sharing. Let's go. I rather like that. I rather like Furman. Can I tell you about that game? Is there anything else I can share about that game? Some of these games I don't have any juice on. I can tell you that the most sharp action in college basketball from respected bettors today, over 137.5. There you go. Gerald Jones tied into the sharps. Man, I tell you, the best goddamn cat in the business. Sharp. You boys and girls are sharp as a tack. Stop GL engineer. David Wallace is here. Redbeard giving us some Troy team total over parlay. Luka triple-double. And the Pacers -6. All right. Redbeard, let's go. Get down with the Luka, especially with the LeBron. How funny is that's not funny, but it's kind of disgusting. LeBron calls out Stephen A. Like, what's he going to do? I mean, you're a grown-ass man worth $1 billion. You're going to go assault Stephen A. Smith on the sidelines of a professionally, nationally televised basketball game? Stupid. And then a day later, he's out. I mean, dude, you're weak. You're flopping and you're weak. Shout out to Joe W. The Futon Bets rolling in, says Cleveland State money line. Sup, buddy? Let's get this cash and hit the like and subscribe. My dude, my man, Futon Bets. There's old E in the house. Peter Grassi is here. Happy daylight savings time. Did you know today? I'm full of all kinds of bullshit today. Today is National Nap Day. National Take a Nap Day. Anointed the day after daylight savings time. Man, we got after it so good on Saturday night, I forgot it was daylight savings time. You know what happened is I went to bed and I'd already seen daylight savings time. So I lost that hour in between and I was probably just so foggy-eyed and wet-brained that I didn't even realize it's daylight savings time. So when I woke up, it just kind of seemed like business as usual. I just couldn't figure out why the microwave clock had the wrong time on. So today's National Take a Nap Day. Remember that next year. You guys get the opportunity. If you want to tell your employer you recognize national holidays, it's National Take a Nap Day, the day after daylight savings time. Shout out to Robert McCormick, Bobby Max in the house. Dan Doherty. There we go. Our man's going to come through with some rugby action for us this week. He says, or you can do something different and bet some NRL with the crew. Why have that money tied up when there's so many other ways to put it out there, right, Dan? Come on, man. Let's go. Let's have a big week this week. Rugby action posted now. We're going to be on video series number 3. Video series number 3 from Dan and his man Smythe. Peter Grassi is here. So true. Don't bet just to bet. AOD. This is Hummus Bro for life. Appreciate you, my man. I feel the same way. Let's go, Markel. Lexicon's here. Dana Delt. Dan throwing out some Tatum, Porzingis, and Horford out factors. Do the Celtics still smash? We're working on the bookie eye holes. Gerald Jones says 60 degrees upstate New York. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Spring is in the air. Hopefully we're finally past that corner. I'm still a little nervous. It's always like that beginning of April. I remember we went down to Myrtle Beach for a golf trip and we caught, I don't know, like 8 inches of snow when we came back. Not fun. Phil the Kill says he girls with snow on the ground. I don't care. Me too. But today was, this winter was a little bit difficult because I took too long to move the grill around and then there's too much snow. Lexicon Lex Northwestern Moneyline live. Smoke and mirrors. Look at it. Says his temporary bachelor ass has made it. He's ready to drink the vodka lemonade. Let's go. David Wallace. 12 years now, huh? I got a Broil King. But I appreciate the Weber. You spend the money, you get the returns. They cook nicely. We're going to have a grilling segment. I should record me grilling a ribeye and use that as the intro for the ribeye play of the day. Fernando Mendoza. What's up, Fernando? This is Reeves over 2.5 threes, minus 118 when he bet it. There's subhuman Gaucho rocking with us. Doherty says Trae Young is out. AOD says LeBron is soft. Jerry Davis is here. Joseph Alvarado says Chicago still love the pimp. Appreciate you, my man. The Windy City. Nathan Stern is on the abs, Mikey. Okay. Puck line. I mean, that's one of those ones where we talked about that the other day. You got to roll to like the 2.5, right? I mean, man, I want to go out and it's fucking 10 degrees and stand by a grill. No. I got indoor stuff. I got indoor utensils. Got air fryers. I got an indoor griller. I do all that stuff. I got the oven, the crock pots. You know, I changed the seasons. Ramon is giving us the official news. Young is out tonight versus the PHL. Jerry Davis is getting a trigger. I got a Weber bullet, man. I got the real thing. Get the charcoal in there. Yeah, we used to grill. We used to run the old barbecue circuit. Give you guys some mean ribs, chicken lollipops, whatever you guys. We got you covered. Let's go. Mr. Tomatoes is here. He's ready to go. David Delp says 65 and sunny in Indiana. Okay. Spring is in the air. Feeling good. What happened? Oh, what happened? There we go. Let's pop off. Let's get to work. Jover already gave us the over, the first period over. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Colorado. Excuse me, Jover. Pardon me, Jover. I could talk about that goaltending matchup a little bit. And again, I don't have any official action on that game. What's up? Jay Main in the house. Subhumans giving us some action. Mo Ball, 10 assists and 10 rebounds is 49-1 on DK Sting Game Parlay. Wow. I was one player short of my parlays cashing last night. It kind of hurt my feelings, to be honest. All right. Oh, I was looking. I saw Robert Morris game over, and I'm like, his game's over? It hasn't even started yet. Okay. To the lab we go. We've been scrubbing on these lines, scrubbing on these cards. We got Stuart Skinner starting for the Edmonton Oilers. He's 22-15-4. He's got a 2.87 goals against average and an 89.7% save percentage. The Oilers have won 2 in a row. Look out. Skinner, still struggling. 4 goals on 25 shots. His last game against the Dallas Stars. Now, they did win. But he's struggling. Worth noting, he's struggling. And the Sabres continue to stink. These Buffalo Sabres. They've lost 6 in a row. They're probably going to go back to UPL because they really don't have anybody else at this point. I think they're doing the right thing by leaving Devin Levi down in the AHL. Last year, they yo-yoed that kid too much to try to figure it out. And he's starting to build some good numbers in the AHL. So his confidence there for maybe not next year, but the following is a good thing. In the meantime, UPL's the bozo, the clown wearing the red nose. 19-20-4, 3.16 goals against average, 88.9% save percentage. Now, on the surface, both these teams with goaltending are pretty comparably situated. And I was surprised as I was putting the stats in there. You know, Edmonton, again, everybody last year, ended the Stanley Cup's over. Everyone's telling you Edmonton's winning the Stanley Cup this year. Well, look at their season. Stop it. Stop with this craziness. But they are still one of the highest favored to win the Stanley Cup. So we'll see how it turns out when they do get to the postseason. You know that offense is dangerous, but their defense and their goaltending are suspect. Luukkonen did play pretty well, 32 of 35 shots. That was against the Florida Panthers, and they got shut out 4-0. So what do we know when teams come off the shutout? We like to see them score. Now, I was a little apprehensive about this game, mostly because my opinion with Buffalo Sabres are anytime you need to count on them to score, they don't score. But if we're going to take a stab at this game, we have to attack a plus money opportunity. We're not going to go out there and lay minus 192 on Edmonton. I don't trust them. And you can parlay Edmonton in the Avalanche. You probably could comfortably come out with a W. But look, one of these favorites is going to end up taking the L. either it be Edmonton, Ottawa, or the Avalanche. Now, we'll talk about my feelings on that Ottawa-Detroit game. And I'd say that as a matter so confidently because I've done a bunch of these hip-to-be-square two-leg hockeys. They're big trends and they're favors. And like, look last night with Vegas Golden Knights to the LA Kings, who were tired on the road and traveling. It's not profitable. I'd rather see you put your money on a season-long team total bet. So stupid. Anyways, what do we know about these two teams? Well, we know that the Buffalo Sabres on home ice have gone over the total in 21 of 31 games this season. That is good enough to be the most in the NHL. 21 and 10 to the over in Buffalo. And we got Skinner, who we know has been suspect. Then on the other side of things, we look at the Edmonton Oilers. What has their struggle been as of late? They allow 3.44 goals per game. That's good enough to be the third most in the NHL. But if we zoom in, and we talked about the defensive injury, there's injuries on the defensive side of things. That's what's kind of killing them right now. And then, of course, bad goaltending doesn't help either. On the road, they allow 3 goals a game. So remember, 3.44 overall is third most in the league. They're a little better on the road than they are at home. But in their last 5 games, they've let up 22 goals a game. That's north of 4, boys and girls. Even at 3.44 to be third highest in the league, they're north of 4 in recent form out there. Only way I could think to attack this game, well, not the only way, but the way I am attacking this game, I'm not going to lay the juice on the first period over 1.5. It's going to get pricey. Can't sustain that long term. Right now, it's minus 160. Can't do that. But you can do both teams to score in the first period. You catch that at a plus 145 price tag. What do we know about the Sabres? They score early and they shit the bed late. They're one of the best first period teams in hockey, and they just can't hang on. Reality. Nobody wants to fade the Sabres more than me, and I'm still giving them their kudos and accolades. Hell, if you're looking to follow the Fade Report, the Fade Report likes the Edmonton Oilers first period minus 0.5. So why not consider Buffalo a plus 130? But for Buffalo to get there, they've got to score. I don't trust them enough to keep the puck out of the net against a fast team like the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers to get a goal in the first period minus 246. Sabres to get a goal in the first period minus 155. I'm on both teams to score at plus 145. Only other way I would consider playing it is Buffalo Sabres plus 130 in the first period. Best I can give you guys for that game. And I rather like that play a lot. I really like that play, actually. And both teams to score has been one of these spots where San Jose against Colorado the other day. My thoughts, probably looking at this game with Colorado today. Chicago and Colorado. Now, Chicago first period overs at home have been a thing again, but they didn't get there the other day. They did catch the win, surprisingly, after not getting there. But Colorado likes to let goals in the first period. So both teams to score in that first period would be another way I would consider playing that game. And I'm going to go to this Red Wings game. I'm going to tell you guys, bottom line, again, for me, it's all about the X's and O's. I don't give a shit about the Jimmies and Joes. This one comes down to the numbers. The numbers dictate the play for me more often than not. And man, what? We are well beyond overdue status. And I don't just mean we're playing a team because they're due. First of all, we're catching a terrific price tag with these Red Wings at plus 154. They're almost statistically identical to the Ottawa Senators. And you're catching 1.5 times your money. This is where your ROI comes into play. The Senators at home, well, I should say as a favorite, are 19 and 14. But the Red Wings are 500 as a dog. Money lines. You're profitable if you're a dog money line long term. Goaltending wise, 17, 14, and 3 for Cam Talbot, 2.99 goals against average, and an 89.9% save percentage. Other side, Linus Ullmark, damn right, Linus, 15, 11, and 3, 2.73 goals against average, and a 90.8% save percentage. A little bit better. A little bit. Red Wings are on a 5-game losing streak. And Talbot needs a bounce back. 5 goals on 28 shots against the Capitals. And that was the Capitals. They fed him to the wolves, and he got bit. It was the Capitals. The quest for Ovechkin to break Wayne Gretzky's record, if you haven't seen those numbers, it's pretty impressive. The number of goals Wayne Gretzky scored against the number of games he did it, it's almost identical in terms of the amount of games and the amount of goals for Ovechkin. I kind of thought that was different, especially considering the way the NHL era has changed. The great one was truly the great one because back then that was a physical hockey stature. Not so much today. It's more wide open and they want to see scoring, smaller pads, bigger nets, smaller crease, all these factors to attribute to more scoring. So it was impressive to just truly recognize what it is that Wayne Gretzky has done. Sabres. Ottawa, 4-3, come from behind overtime win against the New York Rangers. Fighting maybe for a wild card spot, maybe. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, monster. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Rob Ray. I don't know why. He's a little more agile than Rob Ray, but not afraid to fight. He's not afraid to go defend his teammates. He's not afraid to go get out there and get chippy in the corners. Now, he does produce more points than Rob Ray. But, look, Allmark, you got to look at the, you know how we kind of take the season long and we kind of overlay the current numbers. Well, let's do that. With a 2.73 goals against average overall on the season, he's got a 3.19 goals against average in his last 4 games. That means he's not playing as well if you're keeping score at home. 90.8% save percentage overall on the season. 89.3% save percentage in his last 4 games. What's amazing is he's 3-0-1 in those 4 games. He's playing worse than he was on the season. He's got a better record than he had on the entirety of the season. On the flip side, we talked about this last week, the Detroit Red Wings have the lowest actual 5-on-5 goals scored. Well, seventh worst in the NHL. But their scoring chances, expected scoring chances, rank 8th best in the NHL. So they're bottom third in actual production. They're top third in actual scoring expectations. And something's got to give. For me, it's plus 154 price tag for this Detroit Red Wings team. 5-game losing streak. Sure, I get it. 2 against Columbus. Then they got Carolina. They got Utah. Then they had Washington. Senators are 3-1 in their last 4. But look, those 3-1. San Jose Sharks. They beat Chicago. They had to come back in overtime to beat the Rangers. And I'm surprised Allmark's numbers are the way they are. This is a spot for me. I'm taking the Red Wings. I'm taking the plus money price tag. That's 2 plus money spots in a row. It's not a race for plus money. It's just going to improve our ROI overall in the long haul if we can capitalize in those spots. And, everybody looks at it a little bit different. I think that's probably the most prudent way to evaluate these things here is to start to look at overall season and then overlay some of the spots that they have in front of them. Now, it has moved against them. But we do have some sharper betting. That aforementioned differential, we don't talk a lot about the splits when it comes to the NHL, but 86% of the bets and 67% of the cash are on the Senators. That means 19% of the bigger bets are taking this plus 154 now on the Detroit Red Wings. I'm good with them. 3-1-3, baby. Show them what they do. Pop them in the mouth. Punch them in the throat. Whatever it takes to get this cash. We already talked about the Blackhawks game. Thank you, Jover, for giving us that play on the first period over. I'm going to look at the Maple Leafs and the Utah Yeti. Yeah, Ramon gave me hope that the Yeti might be back in play. We'll see. Did work for the Vegas Golden Knights, who are battling with the Army Knights for their official hockey day. And this one has more of the art, less of the science. Toronto Maple Leafs, Utah Yeti, Joseph Wall, Carl Vejmelka. I don't know what Connor Ingram's doing. Let's start there. Well, we'll start there. Is he rehabbing his nose? Does he have an HGH problem? Something's going on where he has voluntarily checked himself into the chemical dependency program of the NHL. So Carl Vejmelka is the only guy. I don't know what's wrong with the guy. I shouldn't speculate, but hey, fuck him. I did. I don't know. I said alleged, But it's a fact. He is in the substance abuse program in the NHL. Well, let me make sure it's called the substance abuse program. Since I'm going to break this news, I better be accurate with it. Which is a problem in itself, because if you only have one dude, it's an issue who's going to back him up. Player assistance program, and will be out indefinitely while he receives care. It's not like it, I don't know. Maybe he's got some mental health issues. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know he's not going to play. I know that what happens in a situation like that is when you only got one guy now, and you're already a one-cylinder buggy, it's going to be suspect and problematic. Vejmelka, 17-16-5, got a losing record, 2.48 goals against average, and a 91% save percentage. On the other side of things, Joseph Woll and the Toronto Maple Leafs, 21-12, 2.78 goals against average, 90.5% save percentage. I'm telling you right now, the Maple Leafs want this game. It's almost a must-win for them. They've been mired in the abyss of mediocrity. They have struggled just about in every sense of the passage since the All-Star break. Outscored 15-8 in their last three. Woll allowed 3 goals on 7 shots in his last game. It's not pretty. Just not pretty. On the other side of things, Vejmelka, as I mentioned, the only guy. Chicago Blackhawks did beat the Utah Yeti. So you got a team that's just not the form. Yeah, we've seen that Vejmelka has answered the bell against the Maple Leafs. 302 goals against average, 91.5% save percentage in 5 games. But it's only 3-2. So this is where big teams step up in their big moments, right? 3-game losing streak, 0-2-1. So they did have 1 overtime loss, them Toronto Maple Leafs. You got to take advantage of this game. And what they did, if you watched a little bit yesterday, closed-door meeting. Players only, closed-door meeting. I always get excited when those things happen because I think those guys are, at least it's it might not be a long-standing spark, but it's leaders stepping up and calling some of the guys out that aren't doing that. And they want that game to begin with. Secondarily, coming from wanting that game, they're also in a position where if you watched them morning skate, I don't know if you guys, Dana Delp says, with all due respect, rehab center. Allegedly. The Utah Hockey Club have a pretty cool training facility. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. Google it. And while you're Googling it, type in Toronto Maple Leafs, and you see that them boys were out there having some fun. After their practice was done, they're rolling around the outside oval, the skating. I mean, just check it out. They had the meeting yesterday. They got things nice and loose today. They had a little couple friendly competitions going back and forth. Jay Payne says allegedly as well. Well, it's not alleged that he's in the support facilities with the NHL. So, anyways, we wish him the best and a speedy recovery, whatever the case may be, and we hope for the best as we prepare for the worst. And the worst is the Utah Yeti taking this loss tonight. Toronto needs this game. They got to get back in form. They cannot find themselves. It's not good enough to be a 1-win playoff team in your Austin Matthews era. They've got the pieces. They made some good acquisitions in the trade deadline process there. Strengthen this team up, get them rolling. Now that they've had a couple of games under their belt, they got the closed-door meeting. They called guys out. They're ready to roll. We're going to go after them. We're going to take the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. And there's some nice price tags on the Maple Leafs as well. You can catch them right now, -110 to -115 price ranges. Again, more of the art than the science in this one by a fact of just the externalities that are happening between these two clubs right now. And, I think that's something that, insider information. There's a reason that I follow a lot of these beat reports. Dale Fick, that's what I was going for. I was going for a little Kenny Powers. My mom had to go to rehab. She hurt her back. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. That's going to be it for the NHL. Maybe an edgier NHL segment than maybe what some would expect here. But Oakland and Bobby Morris will pop us off here. 3 games in college hoops. Smaller card for the Monday, because tomorrow, we see the ACC and the SEC will get into play, and we want to be ready to play. So let's go. When this happens, I would say there's almost 100% chance I have a virus. So things just haven't been right lately. All right. Line open at -1.5. It's gone to -3.5 in favor of Bobby Moe. 36% of the bets and 37% of the cash. And keep in mind that creates a 1% differential of bigger money coming in on Bobby Moe, and the line's moved 2 full points. Total's gone up 4 points from 138.5 to 142.5. 84% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. And it's moved 4 full points. And then if you're thinking, fuck those 3.5 points, I'll just lay the money line. That's moved as well. That's gone from -132 to -160. It's full blown support on Bobby Moe and seeing points. And why not? They just played against Wright State, 83-62 on March 6th. So they're coming in here with about 4 days of rest, which will be a factor here in a minute. 83-62. They have gone 4 of their last 5 games under the number to finish off the season because they're one of the best teams in the conference. 15-5, 24-8 overall, 15-3 on the money line when they're in the favorite role, 13-5 against the spread when they are a favorite. Oakland, on the other hand, they won 4 of their last 5 games as well. Back-to-back spots against Green Bay. 4 of those last 5 games, though. 4 of the last 4 games have either been against Milwaukee or Green Bay. I think that creates a unique situational opportunity that we don't see very often in sports. We were playing some bottom feeders, and you kind of get complacent because you don't know anybody else than the team that you've just been kind of scrimmaging with. I mean, I know it's not scrimmages. I know they're real games, but they lose at Milwaukee 66-71. They beat Green Bay 87-84. Then they go back home against Green Bay. They take them down 96-72. So you beat them as 9-point favorites on the road. You're only 10.5-point favorites at home. Probably a spot we missed out on taking Oakland because the number's bigger. Those are kind of some of those spots that we look for when the number's larger than it was the previous game after a certain result. In this case, that result was a missed spread cover, and they increased it by 1.5. Yeah, that's an issue. And they go back to Milwaukee. They're 7.5-point favorites. They beat them by 8. Green Bay and Milwaukee are your benchmark for getting ready to get in conference tournament. That's a problem. That's a big-time problem. When you look overall, for me, at least in my estimation, when you look at these two teams. Now, I know Milwaukee is 21-11, so they are the number 2 team in the conference. But Green Bay's 4-28. That's the Doug Gottlieb Green Bay program that's like the worst in college basketball. You got a big step up in class when it counts the most, and worse than that, if you're sitting there in the Oakland shoes, guess what else you have going against you? Bobby Moe is 9-0 when they're a favorite of less than 13.5 points. 9-0. They don't lose. Now, 3.5 points is certainly going to be an interesting spot. They're going to have to probably win this one by 6, but I think they can. Again, I think the step up in class, I like Bobby Moe, not so much in the first half. I think what will happen is the fatigue factor sets in because you've only been playing Green Bay and Milwaukee if you're Oakland. And then they get run out the gym in the second half of this game. So I'm going to pop my card off with Robert Morris. I got 3.5. Again, 9-0 in the favorite role, spot that I want to take advantage of. We're going to roll on. The next game I got, this is 19 straight. And I told you guys about this. The aforementioned, I circled it. Try to practice what I preach when it comes down to it. And Charleston, College of Charleston, lovely area. Against UNC Wilmington, maybe not so lovely. 3.5 has moved to 4.5. 75% of the bets and 77% of the cash on Wilmington. It's moved a point. Important to note. Total's moved up 1.5. Now we're starting to see some 2s, so they're expecting some overs. Here's the big number. This wasn't in play this morning. You had to wait till later in the day. Now it's in play. 19 straight spread covers for UNC Wilmington when the total is over 147.5 and they're on less than 6 days of rest. We opened at 146.5. You wouldn't have seen that this morning. That's why you tune into Pregame, and I'll tell you when these trends trigger. It triggered. We run them all throughout the day, and then we monitor. We'll make some fun of those people that make the season-long win total bets in baseball, but we'll also keep our eyes on the overall line movement. And then if you want some intersecting zeros, here's a 2-pack for you on Charleston. When they're in the revenge game, so they lost, and they're trying to avenge that loss against a team that averages more than 6.5 threes that previous time they played, they are 0-8. When the team's just better than them, they do not find a way to revenge that loss. They're also 0-9-1 if they lost by more than 5 points. And the total was less than a 163. Big opportunity for UNC Wilmington. Let's move to 4.5. Keep your eyes all over this one here. I think, they come out there front to back, top to bottom, however you want to talk about it, however you want to look it over. This UNC Wilmington, 19-0. I told you guys 19-0. I told you to circle it. It was even in a non-day the game was out there, and I said, this thing's hit again. We're going to run back to it. For that being said, the overs when Wilmington, I know it's, home and aways don't necessarily make a difference in this one here. Care First Arena in Washington will be where this game is held, but I still think UNC Wilmington can cover. It's a small number they got to get over, and it's moving in their direction. So it's good enough for us. Last game for you guys in college hoops. San Fran and Gonzaga. What you guys got? Skunk Blaster says, stay off the tube, Mikey. Stay off the tube. What tube? Timmy Two Shoes in the house says, I can't get there with Pepperdine. San Francisco. So it's St. Mary's and Gonzaga. Massive spread public parlay, bro. All right. You got to trust in me on this one. And we'll see. I could certainly be way the fuck off. If I was going to game script this series with the Zags in Florida, San Francisco spot, it wouldn't surprise me if San Francisco won outright. Why? Because last week we talked about how utterly pathetic San Francisco is after they play a Gonzaga team, and you want to fade them that next game. But if they lose, they're out, so we can't fade them. So we need them to win tonight so we can fade them the next game, and that would give us a nice little 2-spot in terms of monitoring the San Francisco spot. 62% of the bets and 62% of the cash are on San Francisco. The line's sitting at 15 on some books, and it's slightly juiced, so it's not like it hasn't moved. It's moving against them. It's moved a half a point against them. And you got the Gonzaga, you got the Zags on the other side of things here. The problem now, a couple ways I looked at this one and tried to think about attacking it. The total's moved up a point to 155 for what it's worth. You have 69% of the bets and 70% of the cash, and they're on the over. Game will be played in Vegas, so there is no home court for the Zags. But they're a super damn public team. Problem that they got is, who do they just thump? They just thumped San Francisco on San Francisco's home court March 1st, 9 days ago. They have not done any, maybe they've done scrimmaging, but they haven't played anybody else since then. And San Francisco took down Washington State. They won by 11. They were laying 6.5 to kick off conference tournament game number 1. Right? Am I off? No, I'm not off. Both these teams had identical records. Here's the problem. I think it's 25 straight times the Zags have beaten San Francisco. It's not the same Zags team we know from years past. There's been some significant movement between St. Mary's and San Francisco, particularly, but the line is telling. 14.5, now 15 is the second biggest number they've had since the beginning of February against a Pepperdine team. They did hammer Pepperdine 107-55. I'm taking San Francisco. I'm taking the points. I'm not going to take the money line. It's a little crazy. Strama. Illness. Things that we look to target. Multiple players with illness floating around the Zags locker room could deplete the gas tank in the second half. And that's kind of ultimately where I think this game goes, is the backdoor cover. I expect that the Zags will be stomping on them. They're the better field goal team. They're the better 3-point shooting team. I mean, they're the better rebounding team. So overall, those are kind of the most crucial ways to score points and win games. Big edge on the free throws as well. But thing is, after you thump a team so much, you got to sit your star guys and bring the backups in so they can get deep. So you can go deep when it comes to the March Madness tournament. You don't want to have somebody get hurt when you're playing in the big stakes. You're in the Sweet 16 and one of your seniors goes down, twists his ankle, and you got to bring a freshman in there that's never gotten any game time. No, that freshman's gotten game time against San Francisco. He held off a monster backdoor cover from San Francisco. They almost won the game outright. The Zags found a way to get it done. I think San Francisco gets this cover. I was looking more at the game script and the theories and series of what's going on with these two teams than, frankly, any other number you're going to see, because everything you're going to see shows that the Zags are going to beat the shit out of them. But it is a neutral. It is 2 touchdowns plus. And I'd rather take the points than lay the points, especially, Marcus Williams. I didn't see anybody say Marcus Williams is out, which I'm kind of excited to see. That dude's been out. It's not like he's just out. He's been out. And the team's found a way to align themselves, all things considered. So, yeah, taking that 20-point loss, got to get it back together. Ryan Beasley goes in. Ryan Beasley put up what? Did he have 30 points the other night against Washington State? And so you're going to evaluate the teams that are tied comparably with a record. I just don't buy it. I think it's too many points. I think that we can see a situation where Beasley steps up. Oops, I must have missed a couple of these. Sorry, guys. I got excited. I started going. Look, 13-5 versus 14-4. If San Francisco beats the Zags tonight, they're both 14-5 in conference play, and Zags say, see you later. We'll be back for the big game tournament. Anything can happen. It's March Madness. It's neutral site. Here's a parlay. Here's an NBA parlay. I've been crushing with Filipowski. I was trying to find the 4th and 5th guys for the stable. I do believe we've got the former Blue Blue Devil and Filipowski as our guy. His minutes keep going up. Important factor when we look at trends and stats. Utah Jazz don't really have anybody else. So, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they've got Walker Kessler. I'm a big Walker Kessler fan. He kind of auditioned for a little bit there for one of those guys in our top 5. And Johnny Collins. Collins is out. Kessler's now day-to-day. And Isaiah Collier is the only starter without any type of injury confirmation on this roster. And you guys already talked about who Boston's down. I'll take Filipowski to be the guy. Second round, ready to roll. 24 or more minutes in their last 5 games. Scoring 17 or more points. This number's come up too far, though. Last night it was 16.5. I mean, he's right at the peak end of that. And his rebounding has been, pretty consistent, despite the fact that he's got them gator arms. Them gator arms? So anyways, first guy on the board there, Filipowski for us. The second guy on the board, we're going to go to Scotty B. Scotty Barnes. He's back. He's healthy. They're playing the Wizards. Their rematch against the Wizards. Why not? Look, when RJ Barrett's out there, he's the points guy. And that makes Scotty Barnes the rebound guy. Much like we're waiting for Vucevic to come back so that Giddey can change the role that he plays for with the Bulls. Scotty Barnes is our guy. Just dialed in with this Raptors team right now. Barnes did sit with the fatigue factors out there. Podol back in the rotation. I mean, this Toronto team's not pretty. But if there's anybody that's going to be out there, we got to go with the little Scotty Barnes rebound action. He's averaging 7-point rebounds a game. He's got 12 or more in 2 of his last 3. He's got 7.5 or more in 5 of his last 9. And when they don't have Podol in there, he's got to be the guy out there for a double-digit rebounding shot out there, or at least a good chunk to cover this number for us. So we'll take Scotty Barnes over 7.5 rebounds, Filipowski over 6.5 rebounds. We'll take it at plus 250. We'll move right on down the line. The Magic and the Rockets. Next game on the docket. Sorry, I didn't give you guys the splits. Oh, it's because it was a parlay. It's a parlay. Everybody pump their brakes. The line is moving significantly to the Raptors, despite all the money coming in on the Wizards. 70% of the bets and 73% of the cash have come in on the Wizards. The line's gone from 5.5 to 7. Now seeing 8s. Game number 1 that we're going to tackle, side or total, the Orlando Magic, the Houston Rockets. I like playing the Rockets, but without Freddie VanVleet, they are just terrible. They're warmed up dog shit. This line opened at -4. It's moved to -5. 71% of the bets and 62% of the cash are on the Rockets. The total's coming down. 213 to 212.5 to 212s. 91% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. And it's coming down. What do you know? What do you say? First thing I got to look at. Who's in play? Freddie VanVleet. Out. That takes me off the Rockets. It's that simple. Probably want to be involved on the Magic on the side, maybe even on the money line because you're catching a nice little price money plus tag. They're just not good without this dude. Dylan Brooks is questionable. Landale's questionable. Sengun's questionable. Thompson's questionable. And on the other side of things, Maurice Wagner and Jalen Suggs are out for the Orlando Magic. But look, Sengun. I mean, it's too many missing parts, and that's why we have a low total, and that's why I'm going to jump in on the under for this game. Overall, this just comes down to straight who's playing. And what I've seen is Houston, because I've been on the losing end of it, gets torched when their boys are out. 13-17 to the under, the Rockets are at home this season. The Magic are 13-18 to the under on the road. Problem is the Magic against the spread on the road are only 12-19. Although you're only 16-15. I just thought the better edge with the low number on the card, it's low for a reason. And if you want to look at some trend that goes behind it, look, put up 146 points against the Pelicans. That was a huge win. 29-pointer. Off a win of 28 points or more, the under is 14-0 in the Houston Rockets. 14-0 to the under after a monster blowout win. And it was against the Pelicans. So it's kind of like we're kind of cheating the system because it was the Pelicans. And, Zion, I told you guys, Zion under has been a play for me. He's another guy that's been auditioning. I don't like putting unders in my starting fives, but Zion, he's been a really great under points prop. He's been struggling to get to that 25 mark. They did have the back-to-back games against him, so a little concerned. They were in New Orleans. 3.5 points. They thumped them. They won by 12. They came back home. They busted them up by 30. And the Magic, on the other hand, are coming off a win against the Bucks. They had a serious homestand. I think they had 6 games at home before they went up to the Bucks, and they busted up the Bucks 111-109 as a 6.5 point favorite, a 6.5 point dog. It was a bust up because they were a dog and they won outright. We'll take the under. We will take the under. 212 is a good number. I'm good with it. Margin of victory is almost double digits. Let's go to a back-to-backer in Denver and OKC. This one had to do with when you got the number. I'm still good with it. It's gone from 9.5. It went up to 11. It's come back to 8.5 for this Nuggets. 58% of the bets, 52% of the cash on the Nuggets in a spot that's called the spot. And the spot's called the spot. Really creative with our naming around here. Total's gone from 240 to 239.5. 81% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on the over. Why is it called the spot? Because you have the immediate bounce back revenge trend. Now, they're still in OKC. So it's not a full-fledged hammer 2-3 unit spot. It's just a spot. It's the spot. Some would say it's a good spot. The OKC's, what do you want to say? OKC's, Cleveland and OKC. All right, we got it. We don't even need to. We'll just footnote those teams as we look at these other guys here. And the Nuggies, they were 3-1 with an only loss to Boston before they went down to OKC and got thumped, 127-103. We talked before. I gave you guys the trends about the immediate bounce back revenge. Now let's look at the Denver Nuggets. When the Nuggets are in a back-to-back position After a loss with no rest, they are 13-0 when they're not a favorite of 9 or more points. This one triggered late. Actually, I guess theoretically it was in play all day because they're dog all day. And again, I think that we might maybe just kind of sort of might have another wrong team is favored situation. They're fighting that time of year. We talked about it. They're not going to waste time in the front third of the season fucking around trying to beat nobodies. Let them have their in-play tournaments. This is when these boys heat up. Murray and company, Jokic, I don't know if you saw what Joker did the other day. I think it was like 8 minutes left in the third quarter, and he recorded the triple-double. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. He then went on and got another triple-double with the rest of the game. Pretty phenomenal. This team is stepped up. Villacute says there are a couple of injuries. I get it. But, from what I could see, it looked like Michael Porter Jr. was playing. He's the guy. I think the guy that's questionable here is Aaron Gordon. Jokic was questionable and Jamal Murray were questionable, both for today. But I believe with this line coming back, at least one of the two is going to play. I rode the gamble regardless. All right, Jay Main says Collins is available. I rode the gamble regardless because I thought the bounce back and the immediacy and the second leg of the back-to-back and this thing swelled up those points. But, yeah, I'm at the wrong team's favorite. You could probably parlay. Could probably parlay the Magic on the money line with the Nuggets on the money line. And that's probably where I would stop in the NBA. And that's the way we're going to put the bow on the show, you guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Smack that thumbs up on the way out the door if you haven't done so already. That's how you can support us. Big deal for us here, right? We're viewer supported. You guys, make sure you do like the channel, like the content, subscribe to the channel. And Jamal Murray is now available for Monday. On that note, get out there, support us, guys. Appreciate you guys that are members. We're giving away those plays to, kind of some special thank you for those that do upgrade their membership. So we appreciate everybody rocking. Big stuff this week. You know the deal. Tomorrow, Ramon Scott will pop off at 9 a.m. We'll have BB, MMA, and the UFC. First look for Fight Night this coming week. The playbook will be out there for you guys as well. We'll start populating that. And we'll have, of course, Pregaming at 6 p.m. On behalf of the Sports Money crew, good luck.